Welcome to Built to Last, the podcast where entrepreneurs share real stories about the triumphs and challenges of building enduring success. Hosted by Colby and Levi Lawrence.
I am excited to welcome Mihai. Michael is our next guest on Built to Last. We're really trying to have conversations with leaders, especially when the topics cover both personal life and running and growing and building something. It's a long format. We're not really coming here with a plan. We're here to have a really great conversation and learn and hopefully discover something that we can share with others. So I've met Michael a number of times, and this is your foreshadowing, Michael. We're not going to intro you and describe everything you've done. I'm not going to read the bio. I am going to pass it to you to introduce how you'd like to be introduced and what you think people should know about you. But I will say that one of my favorite things about this conversation and about having met you is that you have come from away, which I'm sure we'll talk about. You're not originally from this region, but the way that you approach building a network and building trust in a community and effectively becoming a de facto mayor or powerful influence on a very small area, I just the skills and the way that you navigated that, I'm hoping to explore a little bit, and probably some mistakes made and things you wish you'd done a different way, I'm sure will come up. So I think we're gonna pass it off to you to start, but maybe just give me an idea, like if you were introducing yourself to a stranger, how would you introduce yourself today?
Hi, my name is Mihai Petrovici, and I'm second cousin to Count Dracula. And no, I'm kidding. I'm actually, I'm Romanian originally in Transylvania, so I was born in Transylvania and raised. And we immigrated in Canada in 2000, so would have been June 2000, so I was at 25 years now. I was 16 years old at the time, and young and full of life and hopes for a new country. And same with my parents, who decided to move here basically to give me and my brother better opportunities than back home. So what can I say? I went to school in Canada. I got my Bachelor of Commerce from Athabasca University, so I was always kind of passionate about business. I'm gonna say probably a little bit came from back in my tiny youth, like when I was a really very young person. My grandfather used to take me to the farmers market. So we had a farm back home where we would like have different fruits and vegetables, and then we would go to the farmers market to sell them. It was a way for my parents to kind of supplement their income to have a little bit better life. And I always loved the commerce side of wheeling and dealing at the farmers market and trying to sell the fruits and the veggies, and so yeah, business was kind of always a big draw to me for sure. Yeah, so 2015, I was working already for Walmart. Basically, I was kind of a store manager in training, and they're like, "Hey, if you own your own store," and I don't know if that was like 10 years ago. I don't know if it's the same rules or not, but they're like, you have to move into a small town, earn your stripes, then you get to go back to the big city to run a big store. So, when we were looking at the map, I'm like, do I want to go to, Flin Flon or somewhere in, who knows where, and across Canada? And I said, no, I'm going to go somewhere where there's some water. So Bathurst came up in New Brunswick. I didn't know anything about New Brunswick, didn't know anything about Bathurst or the Maritimes or anything, never visited. So I just, packed up my bags and landed in Bathurst in January, which is the best time to visit Bathurst. But yeah, I landed in Bathurst. Didn't plan to stay. So obviously the plan was always to go back to big city. But I fell very, very quickly in love with Bathurst. And then love found me as well in Bathurst. So that's where I met Catherine. Yeah. So then guess what? We're not moving anywhere because Catherine doesn't want to move anywhere. And then I didn't want to move anywhere after that anyway. So a couple years after, we took the big step. We're like, you know what? It's time to open up a business, make Bathurst great again. We opened up our first business as we're still working full-time, both of us. So I was still working at Walmart full-time. Catherine still had her full-time job, and we ran with managers and stuff in place that business for 2 years before I left Walmart and kind of, took on more of the entrepreneurial kind of journey of life. So
Today, how many different businesses or entrepreneurial projects do you have on the go right now?
yeah, so today I'm at seven different businesses. I would say peak season, which is summer, we're about 50 employees total across all the businesses. I live a very eventful and exciting life.
What was kind of the first step? So you were full-time with Walmart, and then where did that first opportunity become apparent that, you should make the jump?
Actually, it's funny enough in Fredericton. I think you're both in Fredericton, aren't you? Or no? Okay.
I'm Fredericton, he's Miramichi.
You're Miramichi. Oh, yes. Actually, yeah, okay. Far to the north. I was in Fredericton, and I went to Picaroon's, their general store. And this would have been 2016, I think. And then I really started to see this wave of craft beer. Just, there's no sort of craft beer in Bathurst. Like, no place you can go and have any craft beer at all. And I think probably also me and Catherine were kind of missing, like we love to travel, and we traveled across Canada, and we traveled to, we would go to Romania, to Europe, and experience all these nice pubs and restaurants. And we're like, okay, well, we would like to have a nice place. Nothing wrong with the places that existed in Bathurst in 2015 and 2016, but just it was not really the vibe we were looking for. We thought maybe there's an opportunity to, to open something up in Bathurst, especially focused on craft beer. Yeah, and then by that point, Catherine's very well connected, and I was making a pretty good network up in Bathurst. So we had a lot of encouragement. A lot of people, like the opposite of when people say, I want to be an entrepreneur, you usually get all the negative stuff and be like, don't do it, you're crazy.
Or want to open a restaurant or food and beverage place.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, and actually back to that, when I was in university specifically, and I'll never forget this, and I tell people whenever they're like, I'm going to open up a restaurant or a bar, is my economics professor telling us, please, everybody open as many businesses as you want, but never, ever open up a bar or a restaurant. It's like the worst decision you can make. So sure enough, my first business, restaurant, with like no experience whatsoever. We all make fantastic decisions.
The first one, was that the restaurant?
That was Bootlegger. It wasn't a restaurant. It was a bar back then.
Yeah.
We transitioned to restaurant during COVID because we couldn't have just the bar.
Yeah.
So it was just booze, basically. So all craft beer, New Brunswick. So we never put anything except, even to this day, all our taps and all our beers are New Brunswick only.
There's only like 50 to choose from. So how do you?
Oh, you think there's 50? I think they're up to 80 something right now. So yeah. There's quite a bit of choice.
So back to the economics professor. Did I have some ideas on why somebody might say that?
Yeah.
But did he go into any detail of why, or was it just a fair warning, don't do this?
No, I mean, he went into detail, right? Low barriers of entry, so anybody can do it at any point in time. Same thing, low investment, but high risk. Majority of the restaurants fail. I think
slim margins.
Yeah. I think 50%, like their first year, they don't make it past their first year, and then it doesn't get better after that. I don't remember all the details, but I remember him saying, sitting in front of the class and be like, never, ever, ever open up a bar or restaurant.
Well, to further validate that, I was a line cook with 15 years who went back and did a business degree with the intention of opening a restaurant. And they were eventually I pivoted and I had an online platform in 2009 to offer home grocery delivery. And that was deemed less risky than opening a restaurant or cafe.
Yeah. But I think part of the success was that I took a lot of that to heart. And I was mega, mega conservative when we opened up. And I kind of lost that. I think, you get a little bit of a whiff of success and then you lose your mind. You think you're like almighty and all-knowing. But the first year, we were so conservative. Basically, our budget, we opened it with $50,000. So that was our entire budget of construction, furniture. And then we kept our full-time jobs. So we hired people, and I negotiated the rent to like the lowest possible. I was actually looking at a place that was charging $500 a month. Thank God I never went there. And then this place came up and it was nice. It had garage doors already installed. I'm like, oh, I think it kind of works, from the look of it. And there was some equipment already there. And then, we negotiated a pretty aggressive rent. And the success, the forecasting when I started was like $500 a day. If we did that, we'd be like game on. It's paying the loans, it's paying the staff, it's paying the taxes. It's gonna be good.
It's an interesting pathway because like everybody else I know who opened a place like that, bar or restaurant, opened it because they had something they wanted to do in that space, or they come from that industry. But with your still having another job and kind of having to look at it as an operation that has to stand on its own 2 feet, because normally people who start that business, they become the owner operator, they become the face that works all the shifts. And that's a hole that's almost, well, I won't say impossible, but it's very challenging to get out to once you're cemented there.
Yeah.
But because you never went there, like it changes the whole thing.
Yeah, it did. And I also looked at it like with Walmart goggles. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
So I was mega strict with the inventory.
Your poor suppliers.
Oh yeah. Just in time, everything, like every use. Like I said, the amount of dollars on the shelves, like I was taking all these steps that I kind of learned a little bit from Walmart, the way they're running their operations. It helped a lot. And I was like, okay, if it fails, am I gonna be able to pay that 50 grand back from my salary? So.
Mm-hmm. Any other big transferable learnings from Walmart goggles?
Yeah, I mean, the scale of things, right, is just mind-boggling. The manpower that they have running these stores, like, I think a lot of people don't really know, but like I had 200 some associates in the Bathurst store, right? There's stores in the big markets that have 350 employees per store. It's like the size and the sheer scale of that business. It's crazy. So I loved it. I love learning.
What was the second business?
Second business was Caffeine. This was a coffee shop, and that was a little bit more driven by Catherine. So Bootlegger were like, both of us were like, yay, and then Caffeine, Catherine is, because that's what she loved. Also, Catherine was a city councilor at that time. And I think at that point, the youngest city councilor ever elected in Bathurst. She was head of a committee where people from high school and younger demographics, to try to find out what we're missing, what are young people looking for that is not available in Bathurst. And that was coming at the top, right? No coffee shop. Yeah, so we're like, okay, well, let's give it a shot. We still wanted to be downtown because we're very sold on the whole idea of downtown Bathurst. And it took us almost a year to find the location. Eventually, a store closed down across the street from the bar, and we took over that building, and then we got to construction, and we built Caffeine. March 2019 is when we opened, so exactly 1 year before, the end of the world there.
And you're not all hospitality. Like I know that, I don't know the decision, but I remember like you have accounting.
Yeah.
And you've started some like Caffeine, and you've bought some existing businesses.
Yes.
How do you look at it now? What have you learned from the build versus the buy? We're often kind of chatting that through with some way.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I would buy versus build for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's easier than building from scratch is to buy something existing. Now it depends, right? You look at a market like Bathurst, so if we wanted a coffee shop, there was nothing to buy. So the build was the only option. There was no option of buying. Now I think because, even Bathurst is growing and revitalizing a little bit, there's more options to buy. I bought the bookkeeping company. So it was a bookkeeping company established maybe 20 or 30 years ago. I think a good decision. It's not easy, but I finally see it a lot more stable. So the first couple of years have been, a lot of learnings, and but now I think it's getting more stable, and we're getting to that point where I'm more comfortable chasing business. I think it's a growth market and it's a growth industry, but I also have a little bit of question marks when it comes to, the whole AI and software and kind of automation, how that's gonna impact this industry. At the end of the day, that's one thing you're always gonna need as a business, right? Bookkeeping and accounting.
And some people will be able to use AI tools, but some people are going to have bags of receipts.
Yeah. So, since it's just the three of us and this is not gonna be public at all, it's well, like this, it's funny, but we have some clients that come. Have you guys ever seen the old journal books?
Yeah, ledger.
The ledgers? Yeah. So there's still people coming and bringing those in, and I've never seen one of those. So the first, I'm like, what is this? As I'm flipping through it, I was like, what is this? You did all this work? Oh my God! Like, who has time for this? So yes, there's a market for sure. I think AI, there's gonna be some interesting changes, but I think the market's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm not an accountant. I have zero accounting, or well, not zero, whatever the basic stuff that they give you in university as far as accounting knowledge.
Basics.
Yeah, the basic.
I have that same education, and I would not. Yeah.
Yeah, and I failed my accounting class, just FYI. So
Oh, did you tell them that you now own a
accounting company? Yeah, no. Wow. I should give them a call and be like, hey. It was the first hire that I ever did, I'll be honest with you. I hired a bookkeeper before I hired a bartender for the bar. So
Write that down.
yeah, I am not a paper person, receipts and all that. I can't. I'm the guy that comes up with a bag of papers to the bookkeeping office and be like, please charge me anything you want. Just take care of it. I don't want to ever see this bag of papers ever again. There's a need for that. There's going to be a need for that. As much as AI is getting big and huge out there, people are not everybody's going to be comfortable with that, right? So, and we still don't really know, like, privacy and what you put in there, and you know what I mean? So, yeah.
and like the liability part of it too, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
liability, and I've caught AI make many math errors, by the way. So, and it was just like, oops, sorry, you are correct, and I was incorrect. I'm like, yep.
yeah, that's not what you want to hear.
That's not what you want to say, or no, not for some.
You don't think CRA will take that as an excuse that AI was wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure CRA very soon is gonna come out with some sort of a penalty for like AI made books, or like,
I have a question. When it comes to purchasing a culture along with the business, you see things, you have your experience, and you want to come in and start making changes, and hey, this is how we're going to do things now. This is how we're going to change it. Like, what was that experience like for you, or was it not really a thing in this instance?
In this instance, it wasn't really a thing. There was only one employee, and then I basically, the bookkeeper that was working for my businesses at that time, it wasn't working full time. It was just like a contract thing. So I hired him on board to this company. The culture just kind of became a thing. It wasn't, I didn't really drive anything. It's an ongoing growth thing right now with the culture, right? As we're changing things, as we're bringing more people. We went from those 2 employees that were Bathurst long-term people that lived here, probably born here. And now we have 3/4 of the employees are newcomers, right? And I love that, right? I'm an immigrant myself, so I love that, having that diverse culture.
And so there's the accounting business, the cafe, Bootlegger, which has a great fried chicken sandwich.
Oh,
by the way,
yes, thank you.
I made sure to go out of my way to tell them that that was the best one I've had in Atlanta, Canada.
Yeah, we're very proud of that one. Yeah, we're proud.
I'm kind of a chicken sandwich guy. I'll get it wherever I see it on the menu, just like, especially if it's spicy.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did what you did, but it's good.
Well, the trick is he didn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't do it, and I have no idea how they're doing it. So, but I'm gonna pass on the message that is delicious. But I'm I'm joking a little bit, because I'm very, very like, the menu, I did it. I basically came up with a menu and I gave it to the chef, and I'm like, make this happen. And I'm really stretching the word chef, and I had some very passionate guys with zero cooking. Like these guys, when they started with me, zero cooking experience. Like they never flipped a burger. And I had just an amazing team in the kitchen, and they turned over the last 4 years into like this amazing kitchen team. And yes, I am very, very picky. So I will be like, okay, it's not crispy enough. It's too crispy. It's too saucy. It's not enough sauce. So we are going through this nonstop. I am constantly judging. I eat in the restaurant a lot. In the past, since we launched food, I mean, we've changed so much towards the better. So every single little change that we do in the menu, with the kitchen, it's been nothing but improvement. There's still stuff I'm not happy with. You know, we got some dishes on there that I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure we could do better.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's like a traditional Transylvanian dish on there with it's like a little fried dough type. It's almost like a pizza dough type.
Yeah,
thing.
it's well, it's like a beaver tail really, but it's like the savory brother of the beaver tail, I would say. It,
The Romanian cousin.
the Romanian card.
It's good.
Yeah. And I think there's some debates. I think officially it originates from Hungary, but you know, Romania. There's a lot of Eastern Europe that it's kind of a street to. So it's this kind of light dough that you just fry, and it becomes like crispy but soft and fluffy inside. And then you put the traditional is garlic and feta cheese and sour cream and like dill, but nowadays you can find it like a million different variations if you travel to Eastern Europe. So that's the one Romanian thing that survived after, you know, of all the Romanian things I've put on the menu. That's the only thing they were like, okay, I think we're doing that one good enough that they could just live on the menu. All the other stuff, I had Romanian meatballs, didn't survive. I had schnitzel, that did survive. It's just, you know,
Really?
and that's just because I'm a sucker of consistency for food. So if we can consistently deliver the same food every single time somebody orders it, then we don't keep it on the menu. I'm like, okay, if you guys can't, if the team in the kitchen can't figure out how to cook it the same every single time, it's gone.
So this quality control, this oversight, I'm seeing that similar theme in a bunch of the things you're involved in. This is leading to a question, but Colby and I are business partners, and we have been looking and playing with other opportunities added to our regular day-to-day business. And we get lots of advisors who talk around like that focus and the business affair, beware the business affair. And I know you've heard that, but every time I talk about you or with you, there's a new thing.
Yeah.
But yet you also seem to have this oversight and monitoring and judging and that constant improvement piece. And I'm just wondering, the answer could be I'm just completely overwhelmed all the time, but is there any intentional activity or strategy around how you've been growing?
No, I'm just completely overwhelmed all the time.
Because we haven't even started talking with the distillery, which I want to dive deep into, but
God.
you have these new projects.
It's funny. I forget some businesses that I own sometimes. Just like you said, like introduce yourself and tell us what you own, and then I'll forget about the distillery or I'll forget about the bookkeeping. So mega disorganized chaos in my head. There's no rhyme or reason whatsoever to the way things have progressed. I think I've came now this year to the realization that maybe I did a bit more than I could handle, finally. I had that stretch in 2019 where the bank was like kind of a golden boy and was like, you know, what other project you want to do? They were in a very lonely kind of...
Well, you're in a low population area. You're in a francophone heavy area. You're in an area that needs a lot of things. There probably was a lot of incentive.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it is based on the ability of me actually getting, you know, financing for it. So just kind of went that way. I'm an opportunist, obviously, so opportunity would present itself and I'll be like, bah, it sounds pretty good. So when I go to the bank, I'm like, what do you think of this thing? And they'd be like, oh yeah, we love it. And, you know, we'd make it happen. So now I wish they would have said no to a couple. That's a different story.
So one of the conundrums that we're always kind of in is like over analyzing the opportunities, finding that like that Goldilocks kind of syndrome where we're always looking for the perfect fit. I was thinking about this the other night. I think it's just like making peace with the fact that it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, going to analysis paralysis there, everybody talks about that. I've just never been one for that. I've been very gut feeling about all these projects. Because at the end of the day, I mean, what do you have to base things on, right? You're basing things on forecast, which is like fairy dust. I don't know. How do you forecast any sort of business, right? You don't know what you're going to be able to do. So you're just throwing some numbers on the paper. I always try to do as conservative as possible whenever I looked at anything. Anytime I accepted the story, that one I way over. Yes. Anyways, we'll get to the distillery soon. Yeah, just try to put really, really conservative numbers and see, like, does it make sense, basically, right? Are you seeing too much into the picture, right? So if you think you can make it with very, very small numbers and you can pay your loans, I never went to, ROI or anything like that. I still don't know what ROI means. I'm kidding, of course, but that was never a driver for me. It was, let's do something cool, which is why we did the distillery. And right now I'm in the process of 68 unit, 5-story high apartment building. That's going to be at the corner downtown, just a block away from here. So that's kind of what's in the works for 2025, 2026.
As well as.
Well, as well as other stuff. But by the way, if you guys are interested in some businesses in Bathurst, please let me know.
Well, tell me, like, I'd like to go down the rabbit hole. I know that you started a distillery. I knew a little bit of the story. It's a type of business that I've always been kind of enamored with. But because I'm enamored with it, it's been the red flag. It's like, oh, I can't go there.
Yeah.
I won't make good decisions because I'm not going to base it on any kind of economics at all.
Yeah.
Because when I talk to you about this, you are in the phase of like selecting equipment and really getting passionate about the recipes and the things you could do. So like the romantic period. Well, what was the impetus of the idea, and then like what's it been like? How's the journey been?
Yeah. So I think as kind of got all these businesses going and with various levels of success, I would say, I always was kind of like, I would love to produce something, right? Like I want to produce a New Brunswick thing, like something palpable, right? Not just a service or a food that people are going to eat or experiences, right? I'm like, it's gotta be a product that we can sell. And then the opportunity came for this building that was next door to this building where the bar is. And it was in rough shape. I got it for a really good deal. And then, we're kind of going back and forth what we should put in it. And I've always kind of had that idea of a distillery in the back of my head because I like the craft beer and I saw how well the craft beer is. But then I'm like, okay, now there's too much craft beer. But, this kind of distilling and spirits is pretty cool. Basically, in Romania, home distilling is very cultural. Not everybody, but a lot of people have like home stills. It's allowed by law. Everybody does brandies, including my family. So my dad built a still. I have great memories growing up and having my dad and my grandfather making the plum brandy or whatever fruit brandy from our orchard back home. And me and my brother were the slave laborer, kind of doing all the heavy lifting, while him and my dad and my grandfather would be doing all the tasting, the quality control. And one of the big things was the stirring of the pot. So you load the still with the mash or the fermented fruit, and then you have to constantly stir it because if not, from the heat it catches on the still and then it gets off flavor and you ruin the still. So you have to just nonstop until from the start of the run to the end of the run. Still, I make fun of my dad because I'm like, Mr. Mechanical Engineer couldn't figure out a motor to do that automatically. So me and my brother had to do it by hand for hours on end. I remember the smells. I haven't done that because we haven't done any fruit distillation yet at the distillery, but I'm looking forward. I think this winter is going to be the time for us to do that.
So tell me as much as you're comfortable. I don't want you to pry into like, because I think we've said in the past is like people like to hear about the scars of learnings but we don't really want to hear about open wounds. So I'll let you make the decision about where it is right now. But what were your expectations or ideas about what it could be from a business perspective?
Yeah.
And what are some of the first lessons you learned? Because it sounds like it didn't go exactly as planned. And I'd love to know some of the lessons you've learned along the way.
The distillery was the first time I used a consultant to help me build a business plan. You know, we did a good job, like overall.
You used a little extra fairy dust.
Yeah, but the fairy dust of the forecasting was like with a shovel there.
Shoveling fairy dust?
I never really challenged it. It seemed like it should be okay. You know, it could be normal. And now I'm finding out that it's definitely not normal with the numbers that he came up with. So they're not industry standard for New Brunswick specifically. So that's the open wound that's still kind of chasing me. And it's going to chase me for a while because, you know, we built this, and the money that was invested in the loans that we took, and the gap between the forecast and what we're actually generating in revenue is substantial. Luckily, we're still working with a good team, and we're making it do. It's been, I can tell you, like, this winter has been probably one of the roughest winters that I've ever been through, right? When you're like sweating bullets from pay week to pay week there, and just trying to, you know, how is the next 2 weeks gonna happen?
I've done the Miracle Friday before. It's no fun, Bill.
Yeah. So you know, the going joke now is like everybody knows when it's pay week because of how happy I am. It's been a challenge, right? It's been a challenge to grow the revenue. So Catherine came on board in March kind of as a salesperson to just try to boost up the sales, and we're delivering. We've kept staffing at a minimum. So basically we have the head distiller and the head brewer, and then we have a couple of part-timers that work the bar or are helping with production. It's quite awesome to see our first, because it's really in July was our first 12 months of operation. And I just looked earlier today to see where we're at as far as revenue for the year. And I was like, oh, geez, like, you know, it's going much better, but it's been a lot of work, and it's going to have to be a lot more work to get to the fairy dust there. So it's coming. It's coming.
Is there still the optimism for the future?
Oh, I'm very optimistic. Yeah, I'm very optimistic. I dream big. I see a lot of potential for it. And, you know, I'm trying to like pick little things, okay, like little wins, and how do we improve the experience in the distillery that's going to, you know, drive some revenue? How do we improve the product? What are the products people are looking for? So it's constantly evolving. And that's what I'm saying. Like we haven't really played with what I wanted to do from day one, which is fruit distilling. Right now, it's let's chase every single dollar of revenue that we can with the resources we have available. So
We've been through a few of those scary weeks of, like, you know, payroll and things like that. Is it kind of the attitude of like this will work out, or is there things that you just know that you have to step into a grind situation to, you know, go get receivables? Or I don't really know exactly how this distillery works, or any of the businesses really. Look, there's those short bursts of necessity.
Yeah.
Is there kind of a common thread of things that you kind of know that you need to do? Or
Well, I mean, one big thing is to forecast the expenses, because we've never had a full 12 months. So I had no historical, I had no idea how much revenue we're going to do from 1 month to the next, right? So, or from 1 week to the next for that matter. So it was always like, okay, well, you know, are we going to make that, you know, 6 or 8 grand that we need to make payroll this week? And how short are we, and how much do we need? And, you know, what do we need to make happen to get to that number, right? So forecasting your expenses, now that we're starting to have, you know, historical data, I'm gonna know, okay, this is what I'm gonna expect. I know what my payroll is gonna be, because it's the same every 2 weeks, or almost anyways. Then I have a better idea of what I need to generate with revenue, if I need to collect. And yes, it's been some of those, please make some calls like, hey, so and so, like, it's so nice to talk to you again. I'm just calling to chat, but by the way, you haven't paid your invoice from like 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah, I've made those phone calls.
Yeah.
So my understanding of distilling, because I say I wanted a product,
yeah,
is that it was so much like what frustrated me is that I kept hearing that it was mostly around marketing and branding.
oh yeah,
Average consumer cared less about quality, which is like, oh, that's all I care about.
yeah.
And I was wondering what you're seeing, like if the can less good product compete in the market better because they have better budget on marketing?
The reason why top selling items in the liquor stores are not local products, right? It's marketing and it's dollars, right? So it's price point. I'll never be able to compete with Diageo or whatever, the Smirnoff with or whatever, right? So only on quality, and my quality is gonna kick their ass every single day.
Then that's subjective, which drives me insane.
Yeah, it's very subjective. It's people's tastes. I've had people that are like, oh, your stuff's not good.
And then after you hit them, then you have to discuss.
Please walk this way, sir. Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I think I have a good marketing idea for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could either say it now or wait till later, but
yeah.
And so inappropriate it is.
okay, I'll do it. The producer's probably laughing already. You know those like celebrity kind of endorsed, or like, so what was it, Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Was that who it was that?
Yeah, right. You watch now.
Yeah. So
Ryan Reynolds at Aviation.
Right.
it'd be funny if you filmed one of those, but like and just announce that you're not a celebrity, but you film it exactly how they would do it. Like you're like introducing yourself, and then I'm not a celebrity, but the shots all look very like over the top and really big.
Yeah,
Because it's like, hey, we can't get a celebrity endorsement right now, so I'm the best next thing.
yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. What I was playing as far as video, stereotype New Brunswick a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like have like two like metrosexual dudes in like a martini bar, like drinking, and the more they drink, the more they turn into New Brunswickers, right? So the plaid shirt comes out, the beer, the fisherman's hat, that type of stuff. So
I'd love to do that.
Offside, Colby, we should discuss whether we can send one of our film crews in return for gin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Launch our arrangements.
Gin's it's my favorite drink, and I haven't tried yours yet. I don't drink. I know I don't drink very often, but I'll make a trip down maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, you should absolutely. Let me know if you're in town. I'll private tour.
Private tour and tasting, and then we need to book a space to stay. You know a little bit about what we do, and I was just like, we're working with a few organizations that own multiple businesses.
Yeah.
Diverse or in line with each other, kind of depends. And a lot of them are now at the point, they're a little bit further along the journey than you are, and they're at the point where we're trying to like build the central supports, like the shared management at the top of multiple businesses, using technology or key roles, that type of thing. I was wondering if you've made any efforts, because you had some impression of scale before starting small.
Yeah.
Have you already taken any of those steps, or did you get a leapfrog from some of the others we were talking to?
No, I would say that beginning of last year, we kind of imploded a little bit. And I think that's when I really got put down to earth, And that was part of the distillery. That was such a big stress on not just myself, but all of the other businesses. So I had to take a step back. We've lost a few key people at that point, and I was like up against the wall. Really, my back was up against the wall, and every week I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make payroll. I don't know if we need to close some businesses. I went from really higher level, like trying to see what I can do to grow. And Levi, like all the crazy stuff that I was talking about and have done, because I have some failed businesses that I tried to forget about. And I just like really delved in myself into the business, and I went in, and I'm as more exhausted than I've ever been in my life. I went back to the basic, and I went back to rebuilding the foundations of the businesses. And I took kind of a little bit less of a view of what do I need to keep growing and improving and that. So I'm getting back to that point of like, how do we get a little bit of improvements higher level for us to move forward and keep growing and look for that next big thing where we're going to need to put some stuff and some structure in place. I haven't looked at it. I know, like I said, AI is there, but there's too much of it. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of technology out there. I don't know what to shoot for, what to chase for. There's definitely going to be things that are coming. And I'm poor, so that also doesn't help,
Contrary to popular belief in Bathurst, I'm sure everyone thinks you're super rich.
Oh, yeah. Everyone thinks I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Rise!
Yeah.
So you mentioned some stuff that I've lived through, exhausted, back to the wall, brought your spouse in full time, big help for you. She may or may not like it as much, or like I did all that, and I learned some hard lessons, and I didn't survive. Like I did burn out, and I did close the business, and thankfully the relationship stayed true. But I was wondering, you have had the benefit of like a peer group and advisors and close friends as you've gone through this as well. Have you learned any lessons around your own balance or self-care, even through the worst of it? Has there been anything that you would suggest to others in your same space that might help you weather the storm?
Hard to say because, and I don't want to make myself sound one way or another, but I don't know if I'm just wired differently, but I feel a very high tolerance for stress. Catherine just brings that up all the time. We'll be in bed and I'll be like, oh yeah, and this and this and this happened, and then I'll turn around and like fall asleep and snore all night. She wouldn't sleep all night long of whatever I just told her, right? That tolerance for stress and just my resilience that, you know what, it is what it is, and I'm gonna grind whatever I got in front of me today. And that changes minute by minute, and that's why this is the way it is because I'll move from one thing to the other thing instantly. And me and Catherine were very lucky. Like we really have an awesome team ourselves and support each other. We're built very differently, but we complement each other very well as well. So I'm the stress workhorse, and I'll take it and hold it on the shoulders, and she's more of the bubbly person that's balancing out grumpy over here. But it works pretty good in our favor.
My fiance and I, we kind of made a new rule that no heavy conversations past 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, nope.
It's been a big difference.
Yeah.
It's been a big difference. Yeah.
It's hard because we'll start, and that's the thing about all these businesses, right? And we'll start something very positive, and it will take us down like somewhere completely not where we thought it was going to take us, right? So we'll start talking about dreams and growth and distillery and new products, and then we'll talk about so-and-so who just quit or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And we talk about business way too much. And I don't know if there's a way we can kind of flip that around. She does her thing, I do my thing. And then we meet home and I'm like, okay, well, how was your day? How was your day? It's no longer a thing of, I was at the office and this happened. Like now we're directly whatever she does and whatever I do, like we impact each other, right? So
I don't want to get too far to the advisory space at this point, but I will say that it won't figure itself out if it needs to be with intention.
yeah.
Like talk about it and do something. It doesn't just go away, even when things are going well.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, it's never a thing of things are going well because we're too much perfectionists ourselves. Things could be like super marvelous. We will find something negative to talk about.
The first business that I had went through a big failure, and there was a lot riding on it. And that was when I first met who's now my fiance, and her kind of going through that and sticking with me, but how I had to approach any new exciting ideas where I was rose-colored optimist glasses on. I had to really, really figure out a way to dial it back, because when I want to talk through my ideas, it's not helpful from a reality standpoint of hey, this could make X amount of money. And it's well, prove it.
Yeah. No, the conversation of this is gonna make us so much money. Oh my God. I wish I would take my foot out of my mouth in many of those occasions.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Every time I was like, oh, this is gonna make us money. No, that was the biggest failure. And that's my learning, right? Maybe my gut feeling and do cool project is what it is not don't chase the money.
Or do a better job of chasing the money. Like
Yeah, or that. Or get better at chasing somebody.
There's a new saying that I'm just sticking with, and it's kind of stoic, I suppose, is like nothing's as bad as it seems, nothing is as good as it seems.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep coasting. I'm gonna try to show up as best I can, as often as I can, and have some best practices around finances and relationship building and all that kind of stuff. But
and what all of us are doing that we didn't say it out loud, but like having other people you can at least talk to who get it. Couldn't imagine going through this with nobody to talk to who even understands or can relate.
We met a customer yesterday, a potential customer. As we're doing deliveries, we stopped in this little restaurant, super nice place. But you could tell exactly what you said, that she really didn't have, someone to talk about, right? Very, very, very important, because nobody's going to get it the way we understand each other, right?
Yeah. So what's the next business?
Well, I'm trying to, although it's
the building.
the building,
Development.
it's kind of groundbreaking this week-ish. That's gonna start going up there this year. So it's I've also, every single project I've done, I've upgraded the amount of money it costs. So it's not a good thing. Yeah.
But you've upgraded your expectation, or you've needed more than you planned?
No, it's just more expensive of a project than the one previous. So yeah, and this is by far, it's like it hit like ridiculous levels for me, from what I'm accustomed to. It's a much needed, building downtown Bathurst, and there's many points that I think is going to benefit my businesses that are all within one block distance, to put 68 families next door, that will want to go out to a coffee shop and will want to go to a restaurant, or will need to get their taxes done, hopefully. Yeah, it's exciting. And it's exciting to see a new building. It's exciting to see a 5-story building. It's going to be the tallest building in Bathurst.
At least you'll have somewhere to live if you need it, I guess.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So, no, it's exciting time, and it's gonna be another one of those awesome moments, especially when I see it all done and built. So, yeah, there's a group of us involved right now. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to put together a project at this size by myself, and I have some super awesome partners, and it's really like people who are, I think we're on the same vision of what Bathurst can be and what Bathurst should be. So I think it's like we're the perfect team to put this project together.
And this angle, this question might not go anywhere, but I spend a lot of time with people like in the hospitality and food and beverage industry, because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
And you're operating in it, but you don't come from it. So I appreciate your little different perspective. You must be in it now, but
Yeah.
the people I'm talking to and what I'm seeing is like dramatic disruption in food and beverage. Like the increase of food costs on a daily basis, the expectations of labor cost, not so recent, but that huge amount of push for like home delivery and online purchasing versus in premises. Like, are you seeing that in Bathurst, or are you somewhat protected? Like pretty big changes to that industry.
Oh, huge. Yeah, huge changes. And I don't know if we're necessarily out of it yet. One big change which shocked me was DoorDash, right? Third-party delivery. And that big cities is nothing new there, but for me in Bathurst, I was like, no way in hell is this ever gonna catch here, right? The city's too spread out. Our demographics are a lot older than other cities and the rest of Canada. So, but it's crazy. It's picking up, and it is disruptive for the industry for sure. Yeah, I mean, food cost and labor cost, that's the moving goalposts, right, all the time. So it boggles the mind when I think of what I was paying for wings like 2 or 3 years ago and what I'm paying for wings right now. Right?
Wings and beef and even chicken breast. Like, I'm just hearing like
It's
crazy.
insane, right? Pork, bacon, oh my God. And now like we're starting to get hit even in other like frying oil, right? Like oil and butter and just it's insane. I mean, something's gotta give at some point. I don't know how optimistic I am because the economics don't really make all that much sense because we're just gonna have to keep increasing the cost and the price, right? But at some point, the customer's just not gonna come anymore, right? So you're in a tough space, whichever kind of, do you increase cost, do you lose customers, or do you keep the cost, or do you keep your price the same and then you lose your shirt? So I don't know. We're definitely trying to do this balancing act as much as we can.
Yeah. Like, if I'm talking to people, if they're not watching their food costs, if they priced their menu 6 months ago,
Yeah.
and they just set their prices and forget it,
Yeah.
it's like then that business is out of business. If they're not watching, like the whole thing is moving so quickly that it takes a different kind of restaurateur.
Yeah. You're getting to the point where I think it takes accountants to run restaurants, really. That's what it is. The way I've done it is we go by the dollars now. So like because I have good historical data and my sales are pretty consistent, I know that this is how much volume I'm gonna do this week. Well, this is, if my target food cost is at 35 or whatever, 36%, then here you go, Mr. Ordering Guy. You get, $1,000 or $2,000 to spend on food, and if you can make your grocery list happen in its entirety for $2,000, well, tough luck. I guess we're gonna be out of some things this week, right?
Yeah, a strong operator.
Yeah. And same with labor, right? I mean, I know exactly what my percentage is at ahead of time, right? So, the manager schedules exactly the dollar amount that they have in the budget.
I've noticed that I went to McDonald's for the first time in a long time, not that long ago. I noticed like the price of like the Big Mac. There we go.
Yeah.
Like Big Mac combo. I think it came up to like 14 something. And there's a food truck here called Apero Food Truck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And those are like homemade double patty smash burgers, like delicious. And I think it was like 12 something. And I'm like, that's gotta be like, I wonder if people are realizing like that we're always going to McDonald's for that kind of food. It's like, well, really, I could go to any restaurant and pay almost the same thing. It's just kind of interesting. Like McDonald's obviously has the name to go with it, but like it's kind of created a bit of like a weird thing when they're like, yeah, that'll be like 14.75. I was like, what?
That's where you're gonna see the price impact right away, right? Because you have head office people that sit and look at the cost and they negotiate pricing with the suppliers a year in advance. Like I don't control pricing from my food distributor, and whatever the chicken wings are this week, that's what I'm paying, right? Whereas they pre-purchase everything a year in advance, so they know that their chicken wings or their chicken or whatever is gonna be the same price throughout the year. As you see their prices move up and you see like mom and pop shop not move up, it's because the mom and pop, they don't have that focus, right? So they don't really even realize the immediate impact that your price of beef just went up 25% and they're still charging $12 a you know what I mean? And there's no end. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know when are we gonna hit where there's gonna be more stability in food prices. I don't feel tricky right now with everything going on.
I don't think they're going down. They might stabilize, but somebody told me, and this is a few years ago now, but I don't think it's wrong, that there's nobody who thinks that really great experiential restaurants that are experiences as much as food are going to suffer. Like there's just gonna be a lot fewer that like the Rossman and St. Andrews or Init Bay Fortune and PEI or some of the like they're always going to have a waiting list at a super premium because people pay for those experiences. And the casual fine dining or fast service restaurants, quality is going up.
And
Because as they're actually improving quality of ingredients or even some of their service or the convenience with all the technology play. So everybody in the middle who provides, if anybody was an independent mom and pop was competing on price, like if you don't have a niche or an experience or a promise other than we're a lower cost local alternative, it's gonna compress the market in the middle.
yeah, it's and it's interesting because on the other hand, I see like with DoorDash and the third parties, like people just don't cook at home anymore. That's also scary to me as well. I was talking with somebody and they eat 5 meals a week from DoorDash. I was like, holy, first off, how do you afford that? And second, like, that's right. But then it's mostly fast food. Yeah, it's like an interesting thing that we're living for right now.
I know and in bigger cities this is happening. I don't think it's happening in most of the smaller areas of the world, but the idea of the cloud kitchen, the like commercial kitchen in a place that is super cheap rent,
Yeah.
outside of the downtown core but on the highway, and it builds like effectively pop-up restaurants built for online distributors.
Yeah.
Like there's no investment in front of house, there's no investment in service staff, there's no investment in plates or glassware, and it's just like they plan on that cut that the DoorDash get. But then where I think like if I still had my commercial kitchen for my first business, like I would actually use DoorDash and I would be okay with the price, but I want the like home food health side.
Yeah.
Like if I could get something that has a high protein, more lean, less bad, more veg, and I could get that dependently on DoorDash, even if it was just something I could throw in my own oven or microwave, I'd take that.
Yeah, you can get that. You can get that right now. What's that called? The meal, they bring the boxes to your door there.
Yeah. I don't trust those, but yeah.
I had 2 subscriptions. I had the one for Good Food, I think it's called.
Yeah, good food. Yeah.
And what's the other one?
The one who keeps sending me ads is Factor.
Factor. Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah, Factors are like the new one.
It wasn't Factor.
Yeah.
But those were great. For 2 people, I paid a little more, but there was 0 waste, which I felt good about.
Yeah, so you're talking about the cook box.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the eat a plate.
Oh, like you just heat it up.
Yeah.
You're right.
Anyway, it's just fascinating how it's going to become, how the industry's going to change, and I just geek out on where the future's going on that space. If they don't want to live in a place that doesn't have those experiences.
Yeah, I mean the experience is gonna be a big part, right? And that's it's not gonna be necessarily just the. And I go to regular restaurants now and I look at the menu and I'm like, this menu doesn't excite me, right? Because I'm also just like that, like you're saying, I'm looking for like an experience. Like, is there something exciting on the menu, right?
And it's all pork and haddock because that's all you can afford.
Right, actually.
You have owned multiple businesses. You've crossed a lot of different industries, especially now property development, services, food and beverage, hospitality. You're making a product.
Yeah.
New person coming in, opening a business. I feel if somebody was interested in entrepreneurship and listened to this, there was probably just a little bit more hard lessons than positive spin. Frame it around and thinking about that 20-year-old or 25-year-old or 30-year-old who's thinking about opening their first business. Has your perspective changed? Like, what would you say to them now with all the hard lessons you've learned?
Be like mega conservative in your expectations of what business is, what revenue you're gonna do, what growth you're gonna do. Like, every single business plan I've ever made, my growth from year to year has always been between 2 and 5%. Why? I don't know. I just chose something low enough that the banker is not gonna be like, okay, you live in all that, right? So be conservative with your numbers. Don't quit your job, right off the bat. Try not to do it part-time or whatever the case is, but like, don't quit your job. Get an awesome network of people who support you. So go out in the community, do all the chamber events, go meet bankers, get to know as many people as you possibly can, accountants, lawyers. Just go out and make that network, right? And be very lucky. Like, make sure you have lots of luck.
Yeah, just flat on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question, and I'm hoping it doesn't go into a dark turn,
Yeah.
but it could. I want a real answer. It's 10 years ago, and you are sitting at a table at the Picaroon's General Store,
Yeah.
which my wife was the one opening that, and I was the guy in the kitchen when that opened. So it's funny, we probably crossed paths then. Right before, because I closed at the end of 2016 after I opened there. But you're there, you're sitting at a table, and you see yourself 10 years ago walk in looking around with nothing but rose colored glasses and with all the cool opportunities that turned into the next 10 years of your life. Would you tell that guy to stay at Walmart, or would you tell that guy to do it and go forward?
It's funny. I think a lot about Walmart not a lot, every now and then, because especially when I think that I was making more money back then than than I am now. That's usually when I'm like, oh.
Working 80 hours to avoid working 40?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I would stay the course. I think I really enjoy it. Because I'm a sociopath and I like torture. I don't really know what the explanation is for that. But I'll tell you one and I have moments like this all the time, and I'm pretty sure you guys do, and any entrepreneurs. But I remember sitting with Catherine in the coffee shop one day, I don't know, years ago. I don't remember when. It's at some point, and we're sitting down, we're having a coffee, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and the sun's coming through the window, and the coffee shop's full of people, and everybody's like having a fun time and enjoying themselves. And I just sat back and I told Catherine, I just said, I'm like, look at this, like, we've created this, right? And I don't know if it's ego or like, I try not to be ego. I hope not, but just a moment of pride of that this came out of nothing, like we've made this happen with our hands and the help of other people. But at the end of the day, we're the initiators. We started this, like we built this. So like for those moments, I think it's totally worth it. It's all the pain and everything else, and the job creation too. Like we've created jobs out of nothing, out of zero, jobs that didn't exist before these businesses, right? So I think there's a little bit of pride in that as well. So
I love
Yeah.
it.
every now and then you can just, I'm leaving on vacation. I wish it was like that, but sometimes you're like, I'm leaving on vacation, and you don't have to call and tell anybody that you're leaving on vacation, right? So you don't have to submit a vacation request to anyone or a day off request. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's very minimal. It's not, we don't live for that. I really think of building these like cool projects and cool places and experiences for people. I think that's where it's at. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Great. So I feel like, and we can clip this out and create a video for you, but what is it you're selling at the distillery? We didn't even cover the name of the distillery, how you came up with it.
It's called Distillery, New Brunswick Distillery, because of course we're in a fully bilingual 50-50 community, and just like me and Catherine are a fully bilingual 50-50 partnership. And we started with 2 gins and a vodka, and we have a few beers as well. Probably our most popular right now is our blueberry beer. We have a light lager as well, and the recents to the lineup are ready to drinks, which are canned cocktails. If you want to, one's a 0 for sugar-free cucumber mint, which is nice and refreshing for the summer, and the other one's a lemonade or vodka lemonade, which has become the most desired ready to drink in the province of New Brunswick for these past 3 months. And
Cool.
AMPL's having a hard time to keep it stocked. We're having a hard time to keep it stocked. It just turned out into this like mega huge success story overnight. I take zero credit for it. I give all of the credit to the staff at AMBL that tasted it and loved it, and really have been like a big part of recommending it to people. And then as soon as people taste it, they love it. It's a really good product. Amazing. If you guys haven't tried it, if you can get your hands on one, just try it. New Brunswick Distillery vodka lemonade. And we're coming out with some new products there for the winter. But the lemonade by far, like, I mean, I'm dreaming a night of lemonade. That's how much hassle it's creating in my life. But at the same time, again, it's, it was one of the top selling SKUs in the NBL for when it was in stock for a few weeks. So, to go from zero to hero like that in a year and a bit in existence, it's pretty amazing. So we're very lucky. Again, luck, right? So you need some of this luck.
Just bank on that.
I don't know where you can find it. I don't know who sells it, but if you can get your hands on some, man, it's amazing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wow. Great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the question that I'm sure everybody who listens to this point will be asking, because that's the one I keep asking, is when is the whiskey coming?
Where's the whiskey? Yeah, whiskey, hopefully if things stabilize, because this has been wild. I'm not kidding. It's been a wild summer. So I've never wished summer to end ever before this year. Like, this is the first time, like, I wish this summer would, like, finish tomorrow, please, because I need a breather, and all of the team needs a breathe. But hopefully we have some time this winter to play with whiskey, and whiskey should be 3 years from then. So sorry, buddy. We're just gonna have to suffer me as a friend for the next 3 to 5 years if you want to taste any whiskey.
I'll call you again in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So whiskey
Great.
coming, rum is coming as well. Hopefully but rum is only 1 year that ends to be aged.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's me liking high maintenance things.
yeah.
I'm glad we talked about whiskey. In my head, the great finisher was really understanding, like, full circle where you're at now, reflecting back. I'm happy with kind of where we got to. I mean, I'd love to chat further on that, but it's really good to get into the weeds and details of stuff. So, anything else from you?
Yeah.
What's that ahead?
I have to clean weeds, so don't go there.
Well, we'll do it over a drink.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anything else from you, Colby?
No, I feel like it kind of came to a good spot, and like I have only met you once before on a quick Zoom call, and I didn't even remember what it was for. And now I'm going to be bothering you all the time because I just moved to Miramichi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to bother you a little bit more. Let's hang out.
There's no shore like the North Shore, that's for sure, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, we're like they're almost neighbors in Miramichi. So
Yeah.
anytime. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thank you very much for hopping on with us. I'm going to try to have a trip out tomorrow.
Make me popular. I want to be invited to what's the oh my God, I'm terrible. I like my knowledge of like trivia and like pop culture is terrible. What's the guy with the podcast? Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan. So
That's your next. That's
my
my gateway podcast.
yeah,
We'll let them know.
yeah. Let him know I'm looking. Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's call it at that. Thank you very much.
Cool, guys.
This episode of Built to Last is brought to you by Iron House Pro, your behind-the-scenes partner in building organizations designed to thrive. We specialize in solving the big challenges, the small annoyances, and everything in between. So while you're out there dreaming big, we're here making sure your systems, processes, and people are ready for tomorrow. Iron House Pro, driven to create lasting organizations. Learn more at ironhousepro.com.